In today's lesson, we are going to finish making this knight armor by finishing with the greaves. And I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. And if you're interested in how I made this model, I do have other lessons on how I got to this point on my channels. There will be a link to those videos in the description below. And on a separate note, I do give away models for free on a regular basis. So if you're interested in what I come up with next, check out my Maker Online profile. There will be a link in the description down below. Okay, so to make the Knight Greaves, we're actually going to move this leg out so we could just model it over here without having to worry about all of this stuff. And then I'm just going to move, straighten out the leg a little bit. Okay, and then this is what we're going to work with. Okay. And kind of like how we duplicated the shoulder, we are actually going to do the same thing with the shoulder pad. So we're going to duplicate, but I'm going to press Alt-P and then clear the parent. And then we'll just rotate it by 90, rotate it on the Y by 90, rotate on the X by -45. Okay. Then we're going to put it as our like knee pad. Okay, looks like an eye actually. So we are working smarter, not harder. Now you might think I'm being lazy by doing this, but when you're working with Blender, you want to take all the shortcuts you can get. Okay. And here I am just adding a cylinder. And then putting it right about there. I'm gonna scale it by 0.5. And then scale it on the shift Z, so in all directions except for Z. And then we're just gonna make a little thing like that. Okay. And then to smooth it out, I'm just gonna add some loop cuts, maybe 2. And then I'm going to take this, and we're going to inset it to about where the leg is. Okay. And then we're going to add a subdivision surface modifier to kind of smooth that out. And here we're just going to do like a very simple armor. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not the best at making like leg armor. And the feet especially is a big pain point for me, so just bear with me if you think it sucks. Okay. But I would say it's probably my #1 rule. So my #1 rule is do what you gotta do to get the work done. Okay. And here we're just gonna apply the rotation on this, so this mirrors. And then we're going to turn on clipping. And here we go. Okay, proportional editing, turn that off. Let's move this in a little and then go up like so. Okay. I think I want to leave the front part of it completely flat. So let's see what this looks like. And then we're just gonna extrude that and then move it back and then extrude that on the Y so that it's like this. Okay. And then if it's like this a little bit, that's fine. We don't have to worry about that right now. And then we're gonna add a few loop cuts here. Let's go with 3. Okay, and then we're just gonna, shape this to the leg as best as we can. Maybe something like that. Hold on. I don't know where these came from. I must have clicked something, but yeah, let's keep it like that. Shing. Okay. And then we wanna, let's go to X-ray mode so that we, you know, when we do this, we select all the things. And then with this, I'm just gonna like shape it to the leg. Okay, this leg is not, yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, something like that. Okay, and now we're gonna do the two modifiers that we do all the time. So first, let's actually apply the scale. And then we're gonna add a solidify modifier. And I usually go with a thickness of 1 here. But that might be too thick. Yeah, so we're gonna go with 0.5. Okay, I think I like that better. And yeah, we do want it like clipping the leg a little bit. Okay, and then let's add the subdivision surface. Let's go with 4. Let's go with 4. Okay, so that it looks something like this. Okay, and then to sharpen the edges, I'm gonna do loop cuts like so. Okay, and then what is this? And yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna tinker with this too much because, like I said, I'm not like the best at it. And then to make like the straps that'll go in the back, we're just gonna duplicate this. Let's move it down and then scale it. Like so. Oof. Hang on. Yeah, I'm gonna scale it on the Y to just kind of bring it in. Yeah, I think that I like that better. And then let's do another one here, maybe. Scale it on the Y and then move it. Let's move, and I'm just moving the offset on this a little bit so that it goes outward a little bit more. So that this is like that. And I think that's fine. And you might be thinking like, this looks pretty bad, but once we like put this with the rest of this, like you don't really notice how bad like this tiny part of like, you know, the armor looks. So if you're doing this and you think like this looks pretty bad, like just keep going is my advice. Because while it's not always the case, the more stuff you add, like the better it'll look, because there are more things that distract away from the bad stuff so that it doesn't look that bad. Okay. And then here, I deleted the toes because we're gonna add like kind of like a boot. And this is like a technique I like to use to make like the toes of like a boot. So what I do is I'm going to go into edit mode, and then we're going to turn on X-ray, and I'm going to take these. So these are the vertices right below the middle, and then I'm going to scale it on the Z by 0. And then I'm just going to move this up to about here. And then what that does is it flattens it out. Okay. So we're left with this. And then I'm going to take the farthest vertice right here, turn on proportional editing, and then I press G to move, and then on the Y, and then I'm gonna move this here, and I'm just gonna move it forward like that. And then what that leaves us with is something that looks like this. That is not to scale, so let's just scale it up a little. And this will form kind of like, the toes. And then I'm actually going to take this and then move. Let's go to bottom view. And then move this so that it's flatter. Maybe like that. Okay. And then what we can do is, add a subdivision surface modifier, maybe 3, and then it's completely smooth like that. And then I am going to move the origin to here, yeah. So that when we rotate it, it rotates like this, and then if we parent this, we can have this kind of like move, and then we could have our person go on their tippy toes. But we are going to need a heel as well. And then just like the knee pad, we're just gonna, duplicate this, and then we're gonna rotate it on the Z by 180. And then, move it back to about there. And then what we are going to do is flatten this so that it looks like the heel. Okay. And I think it's a little too wide, so I'm just gonna squeeze it. Let's go to the back view. So yeah, these two, and then squeeze that on the X. Maybe like that. Does that seem a little better? And then like this little bit that's sticking out of the heel, don't worry about it. Because what I'm gonna do next is we're gonna add a little brim to our foot. And what you can do is you can add like a plane and then go all the way around, but that's a little too much work for me. So what we are going to do instead is we're going to take this and then we're going to duplicate it. Okay, and then right click to put it back exactly where it was. And I'm just going to scale. Let's turn off proportional editing. I'm just going to scale this a little bit like that, and then move it down a little bit. And then let's go into the vertices select, and then I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to scale it so that it's just, straight like that. And then what that does is it gives us like an exact perimeter around our boot. And then all we have to do is press F to fill, and then F to fill. Because it has a subdivision surface modifier, that's why it's like this. So the only thing we have to do is just add some loop cuts, maybe 3. And then click on this. We'll inset it to about there, and then take this and do the same thing, inset it to about there. I actually think it needs to be a little bit higher. So I'm just gonna take this whole thing and then just G on the Z. Maybe like that. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna GG these to be a bit, no, that one's fine. So let's just do that. Okay, yeah, I like that better. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. Take face select, select this. Let's go into back view. Duplicate, Shift D, right click to put it back, and then scale it about there. Go to vertex select, and then just scale this slightly so that it's like that. Then let's move it down here, and then move this up to about there. Add some loop cuts. F to fill, inset, F to fill, and then inset. Okay, so here is our boot, and then the ankle is looking a little chaotic. And then what I like to do to cover that up is add like, I don't know what it's called, but it's like the ankle armor. Okay, so we're just going to add a plane. Let's rotate this on the X by 90-ish. Okay. And then we are going to mirror this on this. Let's add clipping, go to edit mode. We'll move these together. Let's move these maybe down a little bit. Okay, and then I'm pretty much doing the same thing as we did with the the shin armor. Ooh, let's move that here. About there. Okay. And then let's add a solidify modifier. Let's go with 0.5. Perfect. Let's do subdivision surface. Go to maybe 4, sure. And then let's add some loop cuts here, here, and then on the edge here. Actually want this. Whoa. I actually want this to be a little further out, like that. Sure, and then I'm actually gonna add loop cuts here and here to make these edges more defined. Okay, and then I'm just gonna rotate this maybe like about 45 degrees, like so. And then yeah, this will just cover up all the imperfections of, you know, the foot. Or like the ankle area. Okay, so that pretty much does it. The only thing we have to do is maybe, yeah, add some parenting. So I'm just gonna take all of these, yeah, and then parent that to that leg. And then I'm gonna take, Okay, those are parented, so I just need to parent this to that, so that when we move this, okay. So this is mirrored to this, so when we move that, the mirror will split. So I'm just gonna apply the modifiers for this ankle armor, whatever it's called. Okay, so that should, yeah, so that when we turn the leg, this will go with it. Okay, I think I'm good with that, but maybe I want to add just one little thing. A cylinder. Let's rotate that on the Y by 90. Scale it on the X. Scale it on the X. Like that. Sure. And then I'm just going to add a loop cut that goes all the way to the edge. And then inset it. And then let's add some subdivision surface. And then we'll parent that to that ankle again. Okay. All right. Okay, so what we are going to do is now put this back here. And then normally I would just leave it like this, but just to show you like how it can look, I'm just gonna pose it just slightly, okay? So yeah. And I'm just rotating on the X until this is like flat, and then I'm gonna rotate it on the Y like so, and then there we have it. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just delete this other leg and then copy, duplicate this one, move it over, and then I'm going to apply the rotation. Okay, that's not working because this is also mirrored. So let's actually apply that. Okay, and then apply the rotation. Okay, and then I'm scaling on the X by -1, which gives me a perfect mirror on this side without actually having to do the mirror modifier. And then we're putting it in like so, so that these legs are independent of each other. Because when you do the mirror modifier, they have to like move, you know, mirrored. But duplicating it like that and then scaling it on the -X by 1 makes it flipped, and it keeps all the parenting. So this is what we have now. And I'm going to keep this one fairly short today, so I'm going to call it there. But yeah, that is how you make the boots or greaves, foot armor. So yeah, we're pretty much done. And in the next lesson, we will focus on maybe giving him some weapons like a sword and a shield. So yeah, comment down below if you have any questions or comments. And if you found this helpful, make sure you like and subscribe. And I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.